Hello and welcome to Unexplained Scotland. I'm Martin and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. If you're new to the channel, what I usually do is I talk about mysterious, unexplained, weird and spooky stories from around Scotland from throughout history. But today, for Halloween, we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I'm going to share with you one of my interests, and that interest is Satanic Panic PSAs. If you're watching this, I think there's probably a good chance you know what the Satanic Panic was and, well, still is. But just in case, here's a little explanation and history lesson. Satanic Panic was this weird cultural phenomenon, event, thing that happened in the early to mid 80s and continued well into the 90s, and to be honest, it's still around today, but it's the 80s and 90s I really want to focus on. In this time, people started to really believe that Satanists were preying on children and the innocent to sacrifice in occult rituals. They believed that these Satanists were everywhere. They were in their schools, their neighbourhoods, their suburbs, they were even in the entertainment industry and the government. The Satanic Panic really was all over the place, but it mainly took hold in the USA, particularly in the more evangelical states. Now, most reasonable people didn't believe in any of this Satanic Panic stuff, and later down the line it eventually came out that none of it was ever proven, everything that was reported turned out to be false, and the people that claimed to be involved in it in some respect were basically liars. That didn't stop PSAs from being made about Satan though. PSAs were made on how to avoid becoming a Satanist, for parents to look out for warning signs on if their children were becoming Satanists. There were even videos made for law enforcement on how to spot possible Satanists. These videos now are all super ridiculous, and I find them funny in the same way people find reefer madness funny.
Bring me some reefers.
The incorrect information, the totally wrong things they say, and the way things are portrayed are just hilarious in retrospect. So I thought today you could join me and we could watch a classic example of Satanic Panic. Today we're going to be watching 1990s Exposing the Satanic Web, which, according to Letterboxd, here's a synopsis: Dave Roeber presents Exposing the Satanic Web. Satanic symbols, slogan, hand signals. Look around. If you know what you're looking at, you will see them everywhere. This is not a passing fad. You will meet kids and adults who were once entangled in the Satanic Web. As a practitioner or victims, they will not only tell you what a living hell is like, but they will also tell you how to be free. You will also meet professionals, experts who work with the aftermath of satanic activity. They will show you how easily you, like a butterfly in a spider's web, can be entrapped in the Satanic Web. So here we go, my little butterflies. Let's go in and expose the Satanic Web.
I'm Dave Reaver.
You're not Dave Reaver. You're chubby Jim Jones. I'm ready to believe absolutely everything this man has to tell me.
Please don't allow children to watch this video alone.
Kat, are you okay to watch this?
We are compelled to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God.
Hell yeah. Oh dude, that's sick. If I saw this title, I would become a Satanist. I mean, more so.
In this metroplex, it's my estimate that there's approximately 40,000 practicing Satanists in the...
Bullshit. Ken McBride, you are not a former satanic high priest. You look like a dad from a sitcom from the 70s. No chance.
That does not include pagan organizations, Druids, Wiccans...
Right, we're not speaking about the Druids, the pagans, or the Wiccans, right? This is Satan only. Those guys can go to their own club.
85% of the teenagers in high school in Western Europe have been exposed to hardcore Satanism.
85% of the teenagers in Western Europe have been exposed to hardcore Satanism. Man, when I was in school, I only got the softcore stuff. We had to block on the internet.
That's an unbelievable figure.
It is an unbelievable figure because it's not true.
I met with a witch the other day, a high priest of the Wiccan craft, of the craft. And he found out who I had been. And he said, He said, that's a problem I've got right now. He said, I don't have the power to go against people like who you were.
This guy really wants to sound cool and badass, like he was this black cloaked disciple of Satan, but it's just, there's no way. I mean, the stuff he's saying obviously isn't true, but I don't believe for a second he was ever involved in anything even remotely occult. I think he maybe read a book once, or, I don't know, looked at a Dio album cover. I think that's probably the extent of what this guy did was.
And he said, you could kill me with a thought. And I said, no, with a word.
He could kill him with a word.
Is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
Even the cameraman's like, is that right? You could do that? He's like, yep.
My name is a killing word.
Because I hurt inside a great deal. Many times I think about things that I did and what I have done to other human beings. This is not a pleasant thing at all.
He's really alluding to the fact that he's been involved in some sort of satanic rituals, I'm going to guess, judging by the context of this. He's basically saying he's sacrificed people. No one seems to care. Like, the police would have questions, I think, if you were going around saying that. Or is it possible all of this is just a weird fantasy he has?
I know that the Lord has forgiven me, and my problem is can I forgive me?
See, he doesn't need to go to jail. The Lord has forgiven him. But can he forgive himself?
And I know that I have to, and that's the fact that I live with. I do, and I'm getting better at it.
He has to forgive himself. He can't feel guilty about the people he's killed, or, I mean, hasn't, because he's lying. But, God's forgiven him. Can he forgive himself? Yeah. Yeah, he can. He has to.
That a child can go from being perfectly normal, well-adapted, well thought of, to being a total waste in a shorter period of time as a month. And so,
okay, so the deterioration, if you take drugs, you go bad about 3 to 6 months. That's your sell-by. After that, you're no good. Satanism, you got a month. You've got 3 to 6 times less. If you start doing hardcore heroin today, you got a while. You got 3 to 6 months. You pick up the Satanic Bible, you got 1 month. Then, as he says here, you can be a total waste.
kids get in, but because of free sex and drugs and the power and so forth, they ended up.
I'll take all 3.
Vicky Caldwell has been investigating cult crimes for the sheriff's office in Putnam County, Florida.
Okay, so this girl, this lady, is in a police force, and apparently her speciality is investigating occult crimes. Now, as I've said, there was never anything proven about any of these crimes, apart from maybe a pentagram spray painted on a wall by an edgy teenager. So I'm quite interested to hear what she has to say, what she's found in her job that she gets paid for.
I got arrested about 4 years ago because a friend of mine up in Ohio, her son got involved and he tried to kill himself and kill his parents.
When a troubled kid tried to kill himself and hurt his parents, I decided it was Satan. You're a terrible police officer.
What kind of things do you see?
Mostly your self-styled Satanists, your dabblers, drugs, heavy metal music, role-playing games.
Man, when I was listening to heavy metal, playing role-playing games in school, it didn't make me a Satanist, it just made me get beat up a lot.
They have pagans, witches, traditional and non-traditional Satanists, as well as skaters.
Those damn satanic skaters. Hey guys, I'd just like to jump in here with my own little PSA. At the beginning of this next clip, our former satanic high priest tells us about the body of a young murdered woman that was found by the police. He really delights in giving us some gory details. Now, there's a very, 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 very good chance that this story is completely made up, but even so, I found that the details were just unnecessarily unpleasant. Because of this, I've decided to cut the start of this clip out. I think it's more than enough to know that, according to the former satanic high priest, the body of a young murdered woman was found. Back to you, Ken.
Z-E-N across her chest in her own blood. It made no sense to them. It made no sense because they're not Satanist. That Z-E-N is the name of a demon.
Look at this guy's smug, smiley face when he's telling this story. And just try not to hate him.
And his name is not Zen, by the way. It is Zod.
So it's not Zen. So you knew it was ritualistic because it had a demon's name on its chest, but that wasn't the demon's name. What are you talking about?
And that demonic entity is who she was sacrificed to. And had they known that, it would have led them in the direction of searching for a Satanist.
If they'd known that, they could have gone and arrested the demon, Zen, but that's not his name, but that's how I know it's him. If they'd spoke to me, because I'm a high priest of Satan, or was, not anymore. God's forgiven me, not forgiven me.
If a crime is known to be in progress, it's very difficult to get anybody to respond to it because of things that are blocked within the judicial system.
By Satanists?
By Satanists.
Okay, so this is why it turned out none of these Satanic Panic crimes had any evidence for them. Because the police were Satanists and covered it all up. So this is all real now. I'm mad.
These people are in every strata of society. We're talking doctors, we're talking lawyers, we're talking a lot of Christian ministers who preach a sermon perhaps on Sunday morning and are involved in satanic rituals the night before.
They're in the government, they're in entertainment, they're your doctors, they're even your ministers somehow. They're at the night before Sunday service, they're doing satanic rituals. What's in it for them? You can't play them off against one each other. They're going to find out. You can't two-time God and the devil.
We had one note, "You're welcome to a bloodbath ritual."
That's just a metal and hardcore flyer. And it looks badass.
I'll be there at 11:54 for the gatekeeper of hell to appear.
That's not saying be there for the gatekeeper of hell. That's what time the doors are for the gig.
It's very secretive.
It can't be that secretive if they've got a flyer and you found it. Yeah, we're having our secret occult meeting. Pass these flyers out around town.
But 9 times out of 10, Satanists are into drugs.
9 out of 10 Satanists use drugs heavily. And you know it's true because you've got a orc-like character behind it. Which really, I think, drives home the seriousness of this.
Now, during that particular time period, I remember very little.
Ah, see, he remembers very little of when he was a satanic high priest. Because of Satan. So he can't really give us any specific details or information or anything that would be remotely helpful in finding the people that helped him commit these satanic crimes he's been alluding to, because Satan won't let him remember. It's not because he's lying.
I don't remember even graduating from high school, although I know I did.
I'm gonna put a big press X for doubt on that one. I don't know if you did graduate high school.
Another is music, specifically heavy metal or black metal.
Here we go, heavy metal and black metal. So, touched on Dungeons and Dragons, obviously gets blamed a lot, but heavy metal, black metal, anything kind of extreme outside of the realms of pop music. Even pop music, actually, a lot of the time. But they really go in on the metal, punk subgenres. So let's see what they have to say about heavy metal and how that has made people become Satanists.
And we're not anti-heavy metal, but we're anti the heavy metal message.
We're not anti-heavy metal. We're just anti-everything it says and stands for. But we like it. We just don't like how it sounds, or what they say, or what it means, what it stands for, but we like it. We're not anti-heavy metal.
Now, in the hand of this goat is a decapitated head. And of course, we're finding decapitated bodies all over America.
On the cover of Rain and Blood, there's a decapitated head. We're finding decapitated bodies. Decapitation did not exist before Slayer. Slayer is the cause of decapitation. If you listen to Slayer, you're probably going to decapitate someone.
That is a common way for a Satanist ritual to occur, is to do the decapitation.
That's a common way for a Satanist ritual to take place, is to do the decapitation, man. You go to a satanic ritual enough times, you'll get sick of the decapitations. They do it too much, it's overplayed. 9 out of 10 times, head, gone, whatever. Come on guys, originality.
What this thing is saying to them is that Christ and the church will support the rise of Satanism.
Now, is that what Slayer wanted from that album cover? Were they trying to send that type of message? Or did they just make that the album cover because it's super cool? You decide.
The 2 single most factors that we see is music and a game called Dungeons and Dragons.
That was kind of what got me interested in occult stuff, so I can't even fault them there, really.
And then, of course, trailing very closely behind that and vying for the position is the amount of occult information that is put out through the videos, the movies, the TV shows.
I'm kind of realizing here that these occult influences are pretty much everything that I'm into. Thank God they never got to me, eh?
We went into a very small store, David. This was, I mean, maybe as big as we're sitting here. This was a small set. We found 119 videos on the occult.
I want to go to that store. 119 videos on the occult, man. I'd watch all of that. That sounds amazing.
And in that video, it shows everything that is gruesome, grotesque, everything that you would never want to see or hope your child would never see in the way of death scenes, including some decapitation occult rituals.
Decapitation occult rituals, which is of course inspired by Slayer. As we know, as we've learned, Slayer causes decapitations.
Satanists entrap young people in several ways.
Here is how Satanists might entrap your young people to be involved with them. Kat, are you involved with Satanism?
They take snapshots of their victims for use of blackmail.
One is, they might take photos of their wieners.
Or they'll involve the unsuspecting victim in their darkest rituals. They will get the teenager to offer his blood or even a finger to Satan.
If your kid comes home missing a finger, I mean, probably go to the hospital first, but then ask, was it a Satan thing, or did you just kind of fall and trip onto a saw?
But there won't be any shrieks or screams by these kids clothed in goblin garb this Halloween.
Is this reporter David Lynch? Like, listen to his voice.
Ghosts and skeletons and other scary characters are expelled.
Really weird stuff, Coop. They're not letting us have the ghosts in the schools.
Kids in Arlington will still dress up on October 31st, but they'll be playing the parts of their favorite book characters.
They're going to let the kids dress up for Halloween, but only as their favorite book characters. What a bummer, man. Imagine that.
I've asked my brother to join me and give a few of his thoughts on what he's seen.
Oh, hell. His brother's coming on. His brother's got a story to tell.
He's general manager of this corporation and
he's general manager of the TV company. I wonder how this got made. It's all starting to make sense, isn't it, people?
What we were trying to do, and I feel have accomplished, is we have shown that Satanism is very real.
No, you haven't. You've shown no proof of anything. You've made some bizarre claims. You've spoke to people who either haven't actually seen anything, like the female cop, or someone who's clearly making everything up, the Satanic High Priest. You spoke to people who have used third, fourth, and fifth second-hand information, and hearsay. You've proven absolutely nothing. You've just perpetuated this weird thing that was going on across the world at this time and making people afraid of literally nothing. Bravo.
The other day I drove onto the campus and I looked over, and under a tree was a large group of young people, all of them, every single one of them dressed in black.
Oh my god! You drove onto a school campus and saw a group of kids dressed in black? That's the goth kids, man. That's what we did. And then what, you drew the conclusion these guys are Satanists? I better keep my daughter away from them. They might try and kill her.
Oh, Dave, I watched it over a period of days, and one day as I drove by...
Sorry, you kept driving up to school and watching a group of kids over a period of days. And they're the ones we're meant to be looking out for. Those ones are the problem. Whatever you say, Al.
Just to see and know what is happening on our high school campuses.
But you didn't see anything. And you don't know anything. You saw some kids wearing black and drew some crazy conclusion about them, accepted it as fact, and now you're going on TV to tell everyone that that is the fact, when it absolutely is not.
it's very real. Are you prepared for it? I'm Dave Reaver. Thank you for being part of this program today.
Oh, Dave. Oh, he's the exec producer as well. Cool. So there we have, exposing the Satanic Web. It was about as ridiculous, enraging, and also entertaining as I expected it to be. Obviously, most of the stuff in it was complete nonsense, fabrications, lies, but I don't know, the way these things are put together, it's nice to see how kind of outdated they've become, and how far, or I suppose how not far we've come as a society in the time since. Hope you guys liked it. If you enjoyed this, I'll do more. There's a bunch of these type of videos going about, and honestly, I love watching them. I laugh at them a lot, I get very angry, but I don't know, it's a good time for me, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. As much fun as we've had, I think it is important to remember that at the time, this type of belief was very damaging to some people. People ended up in jail because they were around crime scenes wearing a black t-shirt. For more information on that, check out the case of the West Memphis Three. Watch the phenomenal documentary West of Memphis. Until next time, guys, have a great Halloween, stay safe, stay spooky, and for the love of God, don't do anything fun or the Satanists might get you. Until next time.